Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Way You're Planted podcast. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Deborah, and I'm your host. And I'm super excited to be recording today's podcast episode because I felt like I needed to do something a little different. Most of my episodes are usually scripted and focus on particular topics at any given point, but today I just felt like I just wanted to sit down and just chat and talk and share some life updates. I'm just kind of gonna go right into it. So I've got a cup of coffee, day old coffee, because we don't discriminate here, and I was not about to waste a cup of coffee just because it's old. Like, old coffee, I don't know if it's like the coffee beans I use or my machine, but I've really noticed that I can taste the difference between fresh coffee and like old coffee. This one tastes like, the best way that I can describe it is like it tastes a bit savory, like onions, and it just smells not fresh. Anyway, but I'm still gonna drink it because, coffee's coffee and I'm not gonna discriminate. So I just figured that today's episode would be sort of a more chill and relaxing one where I'm not really, I have like a list of things that I want to talk about. I feel like it's going to be a mix of personal life updates and pop culture stuff and conversations about what's going on in terms of different trends and things like that. And yeah, so it's going to be a weird mishmash. Not weird, it's just going to be a mishmash of different things. And one of the things that I wanted to get into is the fact that my life is going to be changing quite dramatically in the next several weeks, and I don't know. So if I'm like not very consistent with the full form episodes, it's because of everything that's going to be happening in the next few weeks over the summer. And I'd actually played with the idea of taking the summer off of doing full form episodes and maybe like coming back in September or toward the end of August. I might still do that, just like take a few weeks off of long form episodes, but still upload the morning brew episodes, because those are like just shorter and way easier for me to record and schedule and just have them done ahead of time. I have all of July's episodes recorded and scheduled right now, so it's like those barely take me any time, but the longer form episodes are a little more time intensive and they require a lot more planning. So I was like, the summer might be a good time to just take some time off and come back toward the end of August or early September with another episode. But the reason though, and I think that's ultimately what I'm going to do, so I've actually just decided right in this moment that this is going to be the last episode until later in August. I'm just taking a little bit of a summer break, and that's because I am moving. I am moving in like the next several weeks, and I'm moving in with my boyfriend, which it feels so weird to say out loud because I've never lived with a partner before, and I've always, for as long as I can remember, for as long as I've lived in Canada, I've pretty much lived by myself. I mean, at different points I've had roommates, but for the most part I've had this sort of independent lifestyle where I live on my own. I've lived on my own really since like the last 6 years, when I was in Vancouver, when I moved back to Calgary, and finally buying this condo a couple years ago now. This was not like a rushed decision. It's something we had been talking about for a while now, and the conditions just weren't right for us to do it earlier. But now, we have a bigger space that it makes sense for me to move in with him. And at this point in our relationship, we've been together for more than 2 years, and it just feels like it's the logical next step. I'm a huge believer. I believe in marriage, and we are going to, get married eventually. But I'm also a firm believer, and so is he, in the fact that I need to live with my partner first before committing to marrying them. And there's a reason. The reason I say that is honestly quite practical, and I think it also draws from some of my experiences as a child, as a young woman, and what I've seen of other people's relationships. And my view is that you can only know so much of someone when you see them a few times a week, a couple of times a week. A person's personality, you get to really understand someone when you are with them sort of day in, day out. You're spending most of your time together under the same roof. You learn a little bit more about their habits, their quirks, and what makes them tick, and how they handle stress, or when to want to spend their time alone. So many different things become obvious when you're living with someone full time. That's not so apparent when you're just seeing each other for a few hours every other day, or whatever the case may be. And so for me, it's important to be able to test run. And I don't really like that term, but it's the closest I can find, to be able to see what is our life like when we are together. Almost all the time when we're living together, the dynamics change. Does that dynamic surface things that then become non-negotiable? Ultimately, for me, it's like when you live with someone for a little bit before you decide to get married, the stakes are not as high. If both of you decide we're not as compatible as we thought we were prior to living together, the stakes are not as high then, because you guys can just sort of go your separate ways. And it's not as messy as it would be if it was an actual marriage, right? As in, if you were actually married and had to deal with all the legal complexities that will ultimately come with a divorce, right? And it's not like I'm going into this thinking that it won't work out. I very truly believe that it will work out for a few different reasons, but one of which is because we are sort of the same person. He's introverted like I am, and we need our space and alone time. That is something that we've recognized of the other, and very happy to see that, because that can be like one of the big I guess tension points in a relationship, where someone wants to spend more time with the other than the other is willing to give. I think it's the right step for us, and I'm really excited. But I was reflecting about this. It's like, on the one hand, I'm really excited about what this new chapter of my life is going to bring, because it's really been something that I have manifested, I've prayed for, and I've envisioned, back in the days where I was single, to be in a loving, committed relationship, and to be building a life together with someone, and to finally be living that prayer, is just incredible, right? But at the same time, I'm nervous. Not that it's not going to work out or anything like that, but mostly because of the change that it is. Really, it's me going from living on my own, doing my own thing, having my space the way I like it, to getting to now live with someone else and learn their routines and their quirks, and maybe negotiating how to manage a space together, right? So those are the things that I'm thinking about, that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's real, right? And when you move or you change where you've been living, and you're living in a different space or whatever, there's also a dislodging, I suppose, of certain routines and habits that you've built over however long it is that you lived in the old place. And so for me, I have certain habits and routines that are suited to this place that I live in, that I will have to rethink when I ultimately move to another place, right? And so it's things like that. It's like, on the one hand, I'm really excited, on the other hand, I'm like, oh my god, this is insane, and I can't believe I'm doing this. But it's not like a cautionary, oh my God, are you sure you want to do this? I know I want to do this. But at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. I'm all grown up now. But yeah, so I guess that's like the biggest thing. So I'm going to be moving over the next few weeks, which is partly why I'm just trying to be realistic with myself, because I know it's going to be a very, 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 very busy time in my personal life and also in my work life, because my team lead is going on sabbatical and a lot of her responsibilities will fall onto me in addition to my day-to-day stuff, right? So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting summer for sure. This was not really how I thought the year was going to go. I mean, I knew that moving in together was in the cards for sure, but it all happened very quickly. It all happened very quickly, and I'm a firm believer of things happening when they need to and unfolding the way they need to. And so, it's just how the cards have landed, I suppose. Yeah, so I feel like I've been yapping. According to my camera, I've been yapping for about 12 minutes on this topic, which brings me to my next thing, the word yap. This has been a word that has just gained mainstream popularity in like the last year or so. And I hate that word. I hate the word. I hate the word. I hate yapping, yappers. It feels nice to say like yap, 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 yap. It's got like a certain mouth feel that is pleasant, I will say, but I hate the connotation because it's only ever used by women, which first of all, I just kind of clocked that. Lately it's only ever been used by women, but I think, and it's always, the connotation I don't like is that it's always used about women. So like me just, for example, what I just said now with me yapping, you never hear the term used with a man that a man was just yapping, and I think part of the reason I hate the term yapping or have a yap session is that it has a dismissive connotation. It's like, oh, like whatever it is that you're saying holds no substance or value, or it's just whatever, no one needs to listen to that. And it's also has I think a very gendered undertone, because it, like when you think of yap, like who comes to your mind? It's probably a woman or a gaggle of women talking, and it has like a gossipy gendered connotation to it. It's like just women talking, and not really saying anything of substance. So in a way it's dismissive, it's demeaning, and I don't like to use it when I'm talking about whatever it is that I feel the need to talk about. I don't talk for the sake of just talking, which is what yapping implies. And sometimes it's fine to just run your mouth because you just want to run your mouth. But yeah, I don't get the sense that people are using it ironically, like they're in on the joke. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems demeaning to me. But yeah, that's my personal quirk. And on the topic of terms that I don't like, another one is girl math. I've actually done a short form reel about this. I hate the term girl math. Again, it just implies that women are bad with money or bad with finances, and we don't know how to make good financial choices. We are emotional about everything, including money. But really what I see on the internet about the way girl math is people just justifying their shopping addictions or poor spending habits. And it's not, and to apply the term, like put the word girl in front of it, it just kind of like makes it encompassing to the entire female gender. No, not female gender. It makes it encompassing to the entire, like, womanhood as a whole. And that's not true. I know plenty of women that are good with their money, and Yeah, again, another term that is just gendered, that is in a way demeaning of women, and yeah, just seeks to make women feel less than, or, you know, allow women that need to do some serious work in terms of their finances justify their bad spending habits. Like, oh, it's girl math, it's fine. It's like, oh, I'm doing a return, I'm getting a refund on an item that I had originally spent money on. And so it's like, I'm making money. Girl math. No, lady, no, you're not. That's not you making money. You already spent that money, you're just getting it back. It's not, it's break even, okay? One in, one out, in and out. There's no, it's not a plus. So it's just one of the other terms that has gained a lot of social popularity and credence, that I'm just like, let's not normalize this. It ain't cute. It ain't cute. Yeah, how did I even get to that? Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I've just got on like a weird rant slash segue, and I need to take some of my go-go juice to get me thinking again. Another thing that I've been thinking about is, are we still doing hot girl summer? You guys remember, it's like a few years ago, and I think it became popularized with Meg Thee Stallion, right? If I'm wrong, somebody correct me somewhere. But like, is hot girl summer still a thing? Like, what's the defining concept for the summer? What are the girlies doing out, or is the economy so bad that we're just like, listen, I'm just trying to survive this summer. I'm not trying to be out and about in skimpy clothes, or like, I'm not trying to be out and about, living my best life. And honestly, like, I'm in Calgary right now, and I'm looking out my window, and it's just cloudy as hell. And it has been doing this thing where it's like sunny for a little bit and cloudy. It's been a very rainy spring slash summer, and I don't want to do hot girl shit in this weather. I can't dress. I don't even know how to dress, because it's like, I might leave my house and it's sunny. By the time I get to where I'm going, it's already pouring rain. So which one am I going to do? Anyway, I don't know like why that thought came to my head, and I don't really have any commentary on hot girl summer, or whether or not it's good or bad. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, I think you can be hot year round, okay? You don't need to wait for the summer to be hot and do hot girl things. That's the takeaway for this segment, okay? And then another thing that I've been thinking of that I think also aligns with me conceding that it might be a good time to take a break from full form episodes this summer, is just like, I feel like I am biting off more than I can chew in terms of different aspects of content creation. I think deep inside me, I really want to do everything. I want to be on the podcast, I want to be on YouTube, I want to be writing on Substack, which I haven't written in probably since like last year. I started a Substack last year. I've only done like a few essays or blogs or whatever, and I haven't gotten back into it. I want to like do Instagram. TikTok I've sort of given up on. Like, I just can't. But what I'm realizing is that I think I've like bitten off more than I can chew. One of the things I like about me is how ambitious I can get, and how I feel like if I put my mind to something, I can truly learn how to do whatever it is that I put my mind to. I can figure it out. But what I'm learning is that you don't have to leave your imprint on everything. You can just pick a couple of things, learn how to do them really well, and execute on them really well. You don't have to spread yourself so thin trying to be everywhere all at once. And so it's hard. It's really hard for me because I really like the podcast, and I've also added this element of doing video episodes for the podcast this year, which has been fun, but it also means that I need to be extra prepared for my podcast episodes. I need to show up looking put together. It's not something that I can just record on my bed, if it with just like an audio episode. So it's requiring a lot more from me, a lot more thought and intention and planning, which is not like a bad thing. But again, all of these things, all of my content creation and social media and whatever, they are side things. I have a 9 to 5 that takes up my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Sometimes I'm working weekends, depending on like what's going on in a particular season. But that's the thing that keeps the lights on. That's the thing that allows me to spend money on like silly content creation stuff. And so it takes precedence, it takes priority over every other thing. And sometimes I feel like at the end of the day, after I've given so much to, again, my job that I really do love and am passionate about, I have very little left to give to all the other things. And so I find that I'm given just a little bit here and a little bit there. So I'm spreading myself thin across all of the platforms that I want to show up on. And so I don't know, I haven't like figured out the answer in terms of like the best approach to take, because really truly I love doing the podcast. I love the YouTube video creation and editing process. I love short form. Those are like 3 things, right? But I still have all these little projects that I'm trying to work on as well. Like a business idea that I really want to see come to life before I turn 30 in by the end of the year. And so it's like, how am I going to do all of this, right? Do I need to temper my ambitions? Because my biological makeup does not, I know myself, I'm introverted. I don't get a ton of energy from like, I get drained even when I'm doing the things I love. And so I need a lot more downtime. And, you know, understanding my temperament but still trying to figure out how to balance all of these things that I want to do. It's hard. And I think that's sort of part of what causes my burnout and, you know, depression every now and then. It's like I have all these things that I want to do, but I'm so overwhelmed. I don't have the strength and I don't know where to start. And I just, you know, get bogged down by all of that. I still haven't decided, you know, maybe what I need to do is, with the podcast, maybe instead of like, whatchamacallit, like a twice a month structure that I'm doing, maybe it's a few episodes every quarter, you know, and then supplementing it with the morning brew episodes, which are just short and sweet and I can get through quite easily. I don't know. Lots to think about, and that's where I'm at right now. Okay, according to my camera, I've been talking for 23 minutes and 55 seconds. So, and I've run through the list of just like whatever that I wanted to talk about, the biggest of which was obviously the moving and life update. And I can't believe that it's 2 years, it was 2 years yesterday that I took possession of this condo. And when I did, I ultimately knew that, and actually at that point it was very early on in my relationship with my partner, and, you know, I didn't know where things were going, but I had made the decision that I wasn't going to wait to do things until I was in a relationship or until I was in a committed relationship. And so the decision to buy a property was already in motion before I met him, right? And it just happened to culminate when we were already together. But I didn't, you know, at that point I wasn't thinking, oh, like 2 years from now we're gonna be moving in. I didn't know where we're gonna be. But it's just kind of crazy to think that, yeah, I've been here 2 years. It's been a good 2 years. I've grown a lot, learned a lot, and now I'm moving on to the next thing. And who knows what that's going to be. Actually, I hope it's everything that I'm envisioning it to be. But yeah, I don't have much else that I wanted to share in this episode. I just felt like, you know, enough with the scripted episodes and all the talking points, although those are fun. It's nice to just kind of bop from one topic to the other and sit and chat as like friends, be a little bit more informal, crack ridiculous jokes. Although I don't think I've cracked any funny jokes on this episode. But Anyway, that's all I have to share for today's episode. Thank you all so much for spending the last almost half hour with me. I really appreciate you. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be the last episode for the next little bit, but I will be back sooner than you know it. If you miss hearing my voice, just make sure to tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. for a short and sweet episode that you can listen to while you're making coffee or you're just like starting your weekend. Just something to get you grounded and feeling a little more reflective as you enter into the weekend. So I'll be doing those still, but I'll see you guys in a few weeks for another episode. But until then, I wish you an amazing summer. I wish you a warm, mild summer, nothing too crazy, no heat waves here, fingers crossed. And if you're dealing with a heat wave wherever you are, I'm sorry. I hope it gets better. But wishing you all an amazing summer, and you'll hear from me next week Saturday, but I'll see you in a few weeks. Until then, take care.